The most wanked characters in fiction. Not that type of fiction. Wanked as in essentially high-bold characters that aren't really at that level, but people proceed to put them up there anyway. Now, of course, power scaling is very subjective, and there are many different interpretations of how you can take a character. However, a lot of people tend to forget that sometimes there are some objective things in terms of things like feats, or scaling, or etc. For example, if a character destroys like a trash can, that they're not universal because you interpret that trash can as a universe. And today we're going to be looking at some of the characters that are obscenely wanked in versus history. So first of all, we're going to start with some of the easier characters with Metro Man.
Hey, my kid can't see.
Hello everybody, my name is Mark.
Now, Metro Man has to be one of the most glazed characters in fiction I've ever seen. This dude had 10 minutes to his name, and throughout most of that time, it was him being depressed. Now, the reason why people eat Metro Man's baby like their life depends on it is because of one feat, that being the feat where he just like walks around for an entire day and everything's slow. Now, while impressive, yes, this isn't very new. A lot of characters that have super speed have done this in the past. For example, literally Mordecai and Rigby. Now, Mordecai and Rigby are definitely also some of the most wanked characters in fiction, but you can at least see why. Mordecai and Rigby have gone through so much shit that it's to the point where I think they can just genuinely win against everybody. Bro really got into a whole kaiju fight over like geese stomping on their sandwich. They were so fast that they saw everyone as still images due to eating the double glazed apple fritters, which
oh my gosh,
that sounds a mess. I'm not gonna lie though, if you ever did eat those apple fritters, you probably would be sent to the hospital. But even aside from Mordecai, we have people like Chuck from Angry Birds. Like, you're gonna say he's one of the strongest characters of all time? Yeah, no, it's just like, this feat is cool, like, for sure. Like, this feat is like really sick in terms of like what the context stands for in the movie, and in general it's just a very cool thing to see everybody in slow motion when they're going super fast. But it just doesn't make him stronger than people like Superman. I've seen people say Metro Man like washes Superman. I'm just like, huh? Like, Superman did this shit like decades ago, man. Like all I'm saying is, if Meg Griffin can do the thing that you're doing, it probably isn't that impressive. Not gonna lie, that is crazy. What the fuck? What was that Meg shade for like no reason? Next up is Saitama. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Saitama like has changed throughout like the rest of the series, probably because of the Saitama versus Garo fight. I think like a lot of people now know that Saitama does have some person that he can go up against and like lose to if like given the right circumstances. I feel like there's now like a subset of Saitama fans. There's the ones that realize their mistake and now understand that even though Saitama is our favorite character, he can still take an L every once in a while. And then there's the hermits that live underground that still think Saitama is like the gag king. However, referring again to the Saitama vs. Garo fight, even if you do think that he's a quote-unquote gag character, it's clearly shown that if someone was on his level, he can lose. And like, I know I'm kind of like rambling on and on about it, but I do really like how Saitama, even when he got his fight that he wanted, and even though he still won, of course, he wasn't really happy because he saw his like friend die essentially. So that's a pretty cool touch. However, back to the point. But heck, even back in like the earlier parts of the series, like there were like times where Saitama got hurt from people like Boros, who like kind of hurt him. It was still very debatable. Even assuming that Saitama was still massively above a Boros, which of course he was, there's not really much evidence that you could say to really put Saitama in like universal tiers in like the first season of One Punch Man. Like, yeah, sure, he doesn't have like limits, but that doesn't mean he can go like whoop Thanos in like one punch or something. Next up is probably Giorno.
Whoa.
Now, JoJo characters in verses are, I wouldn't say super wanked. I think a lot of people kind of get mistake wank with something else. I don't know. I personally don't really think that they're wanked per se. But I just think that they have a very powerful toolkit against other verses. Because not only are they very fast with things like FTL feats earlier in the series, but also just because their hacks is just really powerful. Now, of course, a lot of them could die if a character's like as fast as them. Like, they fought Sonic. Sonic is probably gonna one-tap them to like oblivion. If Shadow was in like Jotaro's shoes, Shadow would probably get the entire Stardust Crusaders anime done in like 2 minutes. And like 1 minute 30 seconds of that is gonna be him brooding on top of the building saying, Maria! My point is that JoJo characters are still somewhat strong, and Giorno, due to his one ability, makes him really annoying. That is
Golden Experience Requiem.
Golden Experience Requiem. Now, Golden Experience Requiem is no laughing matter and is a very strong tool. It has two very specific abilities. One, Death Loop, which allows once you're dead to be looped into an infinite time loop forever. And two, Reverse to 0, I'm pretty sure, where basically any attack that Giorno gets hit with reverses. So unless you have a specific way to counter these two abilities, you're kind of fucked. Now, of course, if you're stronger and faster than Giorno, then there's not much that he could do there. However, you can't exactly kill him because he's just going to revert back to 0. So at that point, it just be a stalemate. While some people might say, well, Giorno lost it after part 5, and there's not really much evidence to say that. Oh, I guess he didn't fight Pucci, but that's probably just because Araki just wanted to reset the timeline. Araki was in the studio I don't want to write this shit no more, bruh. Yo, boss, what's going on? Nah, nigga, I ain't want to write this shit no more, bruh. I'm tired. Hey, boss, you just say, I got it. I'ma just reset the timeline. But boss, won't that mean you'll have to write part 1 again? No. See, you don't understand. See, I'm just gonna have it be a completely different thing. Trust me. And that's how part 7 and part 8 and part 9 were born. Also, by the way, is it weird that I think part 9 is the final part of JoJo? I just don't like how it's not ending on part 10. I feel like ending on part 10, 10 sounds so nice, part 10, even numbers just sound so nice. I don't know, man. Odd numbers just, apart from 5, I fuck with 5, but other odd numbers just sound weird. I'm on a very weird tangent right now. Back to part 5, Giorno, by the way. Yeah, because we're talking about, no, okay. However, if a character does have a way to counter it with reality warping or anything in that sense, Giorno's cooked. And one character who can beat him, actually, we're gonna lead into him because he's also a very win character. Ben 10. Ben 10 has to be the single most weight character of all time. It is genuinely baffling how weight he is in terms of verses. It's insane. And it's all because of one character.
Transformation 10 now available.
Alien X. Now, is Alien X strong? For sure, definitely. Alien X is still one of the most strongest characters in probably just Cartoon Network history. Now, with some of the other characters on this list, I'm like, oh brother, even with some evidence that people give you just cannot get it. With Alien X, however, you can at the very least get it because dude, in his first appearance, he just warped the reality. However, Alien X isn't as strong as people say he is. Well, how high does Alien X normally get? Well, for example, Alien X was able to recreate the entire universe, and while some people might be like, well, why didn't he stop the universe from destroying? Regardless, it still is a pretty powerful feat. He's still creating a universe, which should still be universal level, and he did it pretty casually at that. On top of that, he should be stronger than a lot of Ben's other aliens, for example, such as Dead Ray, who was able to go into hyperspace in less than a couple seconds. However, after that though, Alien X isn't really all that. For example, it's also stated that Ben just isn't omnipotent with Alien X because Alien X is Ben, and Ben himself is... Wait, what the fuck am I saying? Okay, I confused myself for a minute. I got put in a tongue twister or something. It's actually stated, funny enough, that since Ben's DNA is in the mix, that makes Alien X not omnipotent and thus Ben not omnipotent. And now while people might say, well, Ben has been stated the strongest in the universe, which is fair. However, it is stated to be in the universe, not the multiverse, not the omniverse, just the universe. So just because you can say that Ben is the strongest in the universe doesn't mean that Ben can destroy that universe. You get what I'm saying? Now, I do think that Alien X is still low multiversal, if not multi-plus, with a little argument here and there. I do think that Alien X has been significantly wanked considering the fact that he literally confirmed A, not to be omnipotent, and B, Atomic X died to the Chrono Sapien time bomb. Now, a lot of you might say this, and even I was saying this beforehand because I just thought that's how it was, that fusions of an alien are weaker than the actual aliens themselves. And there is, I think, one person that said that this is true, but at the same time, there's also just another creator that just says this is false. So overall, Ben should not be fucking infinite or omniversal or something. Now, was Ben strong? Well, for sure, yes, and he can still take down a lot of people. Say, for example, probably most of Dragon Ball. I still think Goku probably takes it over him. Maybe you can argue something with like reality warping, but I feel like a lot of things that you can argue for Alien X, you can probably just argue for Goku. Albeit with Alien X having a little bit of better arguments. Honestly, it probably was the biggest character in the video. I probably should have started off with Ben 10. I'm not gonna lie, I need them clicks. I need them clout. Come on, Jürgen, give me them clout. Give me them clout. Give me them clout points. Now, there are some other characters that I didn't bring up that do get winked for a little bit. For example, Gojo. Gojo's Infinity is very powerful, don't get me wrong, and there's not a lot of characters that can really like bypass it. However, if they do, Gojo's kind of cooked. Goku is winked from time to time, but however, I don't really see Goku getting winked that much, in all honesty. I'm also realistically see like Multi Plus, which is actually not a bad argument for Goku at all. While yes, I probably don't think he hits that level, it's not really that hard of a stretch to really say he does. If anything, I think it's a pretty solid argument that he does. And it doesn't really have much complaints either, apart from the fact that there are like things like the universe having an edge. I don't know, the edge of infinity is still infinity. I don't fucking know. However, again, I don't really see Goku getting winked that much. Ichigo, I see getting winked to absolute like catastrophe. Like, it's literally insane. Like, bro is a champion of getting winked. That's a crazy statement right there, actually. A lot of people say that Ichigo's like multiverse, and I just no. Stop, please. I can actually understand Ichigo being solar system because I'm starting to think that now. But things like multiversal just seem like a bit of a stretch, like a far stretch, like a fat nigga wearing like tight jeans stretch. Like, you feel me? However, probably one of the most winged characters in history, it's gotta be Sonic. This is probably our final character for this video. Sonic has to be one of the most winged characters in all of fiction. It's not even funny. Now again, is Sonic strong? Of course, absolutely. However, a lot of people tend to blow him out of proportion. This is something I'm going to expand on when I do Goku vs Sonic on this channel. Yes, I am confirming that Goku vs Sonic will be a thing on this channel. But for right now, I'm going to try to explain things as best as possible without doing too much. You feel me? So, the first thing is the Solaris statement. Now, the Solaris statement is like he's an extra dimensional being and blah blah blah. However, Solaris only affected one timeline, that being the main timeline. And while it is so strong around like Universal or even low multi, it still shouldn't be that strong. There's no evidence that he did affect other timelines apart from, wow, he's dimensions for lunch, which I mean, it's cool and all, but like, okay. Like, Gengi, you are not Galactus. There's also a time here which also just took over 1 year. Not really much evidence to point that he didn't. I guess maybe you can argue Sonic 06, but that's still also a little bit of a stretch. At most, Solaris will also just be low multi, and so would Sonic, because Sonic would scale to Solaris. Now, some people might say, well, isn't Infinite Seed the strongest villain? And I'm gonna be for real, that's probably just like dick sucking. I'm gonna be for real. You know, like that thing where like people gas up something even though it's not true. That's just what happened, man. Like, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that Infinite ain't a fraud, man. That nigga's a fraud. Don't put that near me, man. That's disgusting. So in short, Sonic should not be that high. A lot of people would call him like outerversal or fucking like there was this video that put him like fucking 24D, like super mega ultra complex multiversal, and I'm just, dude, I don't even think those are real terms in power scaling. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for missing last week's upload. I've been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Knuckles vs Piccolo still getting worked on. I had to redo things. However, I did change the sprite for Piccolo and it looks a lot better. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. There will be a little bit more gaming content. I know you guys, some of y'all fuck with the gaming content. I know it's not like a lot of you, but I know some of you do. So I will try and push that a little bit. I'm also supposed to be going back to like school in like 3 weeks. So that stinks. In fact, no, 2.5 weeks. Yeesh, that's disgusting. I do have like some plans. So I think for this week, this video will go up. And if everything goes well, Piccolo vs Knuckles should be either by the end of August or somewhere around the middle. Like mid to late August. That should be when Piccolo vs Knuckles drops. In the meantime, I do have another power scaling video for y'all. It's Itachi versus Shanks. I know that like matchup isn't like super popular, but I saw it on Twitter. I thought it'd be funny to do. So that one I'm hoping to get this week, if not next week. So this video is probably going to be up on Friday, hopefully on Friday. I'm recording this on the 6th, by the way. Friday. So in case that this comes out on like, when's next Friday? Like the 16th? Just don't be confused. So the best case scenario right now, I'm telling y'all the plan here, I'm telling y'all the operation. So this video will be up on the 9th, if not the 16th. If this video is on the 9th, then Itachi vs. Shanks should hopefully drop on the 16th, and then Piccolo vs. Knuckles should drop on the 23rd or the 30th. However, if this video drops on the 16th or even later, because I am a lazy individual, I'm hoping around the 16th. Itachi vs. Shanks should still follow around like the 23rd or 30th, and so should Piccolo vs. Knuckles, hopefully. So, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video again. A lot of y'all aren't subscribed, so make sure to subscribe. And also, I actually learned that a lot of y'all are newer viewers, not returning viewers. So, returning viewers, I'm watching you, and I'm coming out when you least expect it. Fade out.